Hi, this is Jacqueline Scott, my case study for Module 12 EDL 854. First, a report of exactly what happened needs to be identified through a summary. Briardale Elementary School is where this event took place, and it's located in a diverse community, center of town. There are 600 students, K through 5th grade, that attend the school. It's a school district made up of 6 elementary schools, 2 middle schools, and 1 high school. There is a low teacher turnover rate, and the building principal is myself, Carl Santos. Basic skills instruction is at the core of the school district's elementary curriculum. Student performance determines the educational instruction objectives for the basic skills instruction, and the superintendent establishes school budgets and funds that are required to be used towards the basic skills curriculum. Funding supplementary curriculum programs in the past have been confusing and competitive between schools and competitive with raising money and how funds are allocated. Summary continued. Foundations formed to raise funds to support supplementary curriculum programs. So there's a foundation that specifically works on those funds so that students have this different curriculum outside the basics. It's led by a parent representative. Funds given to the building principal, and specific programs are suggested by the foundation and approved by the principal with the help of the building curriculum committee. And then there's art, music, foreign language are fully funded, and there's a lot of parent support around this. Mr. Barley was voted in as first-year president of Briardale Foundation. He's competing against another foundation president that's his former classmate from Harvard, so they have a past history. So there's a lot of competition there. Summary continued. Mr. Santos, myself, worked with Mr. Barley, and we walked through his role as a fundraiser as president and the importance of communicating the school site curriculum committee. They need to be together and working together and collaborating. Mr. Barley came up with a fundraiser strategy and approved it by the curriculum committee. It was a raffle for cash held at Briardale Elementary with Mr. Santos and community members in attendance. Sheriff was tipped off and informed by someone that the event was taking place. So Mr. Barley was taken to the police station, and he was eventually charged with a misdemeanor, and he was put on probation. Mr. Santos, myself, I was very embarrassed, and the story was on the front page of the local newspaper. Section 2, report any legal or ethical issues. Secondly, it is essential to identify the legal and ethical issues involved in this situation. Mr. Santos and Mr. Barley were harmed in this situation. Mr. Barley now has a misdemeanor on his record and is on probation. Mr. Barley's decision had a negative impact on Mr. Santos as building principal. There's a lot of embarrassment around this and possible bad reputation with the school community because this happened, even though it might not have been directly Mr. Santos, myself's fault. The school does not receive the proper funding that it needs for supplementary curriculum programs because of this. There is a loss in trust for the school and building administrators. There are state and federal laws around raffles because it can be viewed as a form of gambling. So it's very important to know your state laws. Section 3, synthesize exactly what has happened. So third, clearly summing up the situation is important in understanding the big picture of what has happened. The president of the Briar Foundation for Supplemental Curriculum Programs at Briardale Elementary School hosted a raffle for cash event, which led him to being convicted of a misdemeanor and placed on probation. Section 4, synthesize the facts. Fourth, understanding the facts will help me brainstorm all possible solutions. So the people involved, of course, Mr. Carl Santos, who's the principal, and he's very confident in running the school and school financial management. He supports the school community. He also delegates tasks and trusts school site curriculum committee. Mr. Barley, he's the foundation president of Briardale Elementary Supplementary Programs. He's a new parent to the school community. This is his first year as president. He's a Harvard graduate, and has a competitive nature and wants to raise the most money. He found a need for innovative curriculum, so he wanted to fund some other programs outside of art, music, and foreign language. The place is Briardale Elementary School, and the program, it's a public school, it's K through 5th grade. Supplementary curriculum program funding is already used for music, art, and foreign language, and then he specifically wants new innovative curriculum programs for the students. Section 5, review and prioritize the information. So 5th, there are many stakeholders that will be negatively impacted and many questions that surround this situation. The negative impact is on all stakeholders. Bad publicity from the newspaper. It reflects poorly on the school principal, on the foundation, and the school site curriculum committee. There's a direct impact on students because these innovative programs that wanted to be created will now be delayed at least. There's possible funding issues on established programs, art, music, foreign language. There needs to be money. So there's going to have to maybe be a different fundraiser that's going to be held. Communication with stakeholders. There needs superintendent, school district lawyers, board of education all need to be informed of this event. And then additional information. We need to learn what law has been broken along with district policy surrounding fundraising. And then, there is more information that's needed. Section 6 and 7, identify and evaluate options. 6th, I identified and evaluated all possible options that surround this problem. So option 1, I, Carl Santos, takes no action and lets things play out. The pros of this would be foundation takes responsibility and figures out next steps, and the school continues normal operation. School does not take any responsibility. And the cons with this option, it may negatively impact school's reputation. There's a loss of confidence and trust between school and the foundation, and continues to be a need for a fundraiser to gain funds for supplementary programs. Option 2, I can take a proactive approach, communicate with all necessary stakeholders, including parents and school community, figures out next steps, implements a new fundraiser. And the pros would be repair trust within the school community, clear up any confusion and rumors about the event, and just have transparency with the school community. The cons would be foundation's responsibility and financial autonomy is limited. There's more responsibility and tasks given to schools administration, so there'd be a lot more on my shoulders. May reduce parent involvement and parent ownership within the school if I were to do that. Option 3, I can take a more intermediate strategy and consult with district superintendent and district lawyers to make a joint decision on how to respond to the debacle. So pros with this option would be multiple perspectives from stakeholders to make the best decision for the school community. There'll be a legal standpoint on how to deal with this type of situation, specifically on what the law has been broken, and it eliminates rash decisions, especially on my part. Cons may limit foundation's financial autonomy and may take away parent involvement from supplementary programs funding. So choose the best option. 7th, evaluating the pros and cons of each option led me to making an ethical decision based on what's best for all stakeholders involved. So my option 3 is what I chose to do, or what I will choose to do, and that's to take an intermediate strategy and consult with district superintendent and district lawyers to make a joint decision on how to respond to the debacle. And I choose this option because making a joint team decision with the necessary stakeholders seems to lead to the best response to this situation. The students and school community will be at the core of the decision making with the implementation of district policy and being compliant with the appropriate laws to develop a communication plan and school resource plan to promote success for every student. District policies surrounding fundraising will be evaluated and improved to ensure that this type of situation never happens again. This will include approving all fundraising activities by the school principal and not only by the foundation. Once the appropriate fundraising policies are in place, then a meeting with the Briardale Foundation will be held to inform the committee of their responsibilities and new or revised policies aligned with school goals and priorities. Section 9 is implementation. Lastly, I determine an action plan in implementing my decision to ensure positive outcomes. So first and immediately, I would call my district superintendent to inform him or her of the events that have happened. Secondly, together we would meet with our district lawyers to advise an action plan of how to handle communication and policy revision going forward. Third, once our decision is made, the appropriate communication will take place with the school community. Fourth, I will meet with Mr. Barley so that he understands where we stand and if he will continue as president of the foundation, determined by myself and district administrator team. Fifth, a meeting with the Briardale Foundation Supplementary Programs Committee takes place so everyone understands the new district policies and the laws around fundraising. And then sixth, committee members will receive training around district policies and state laws around fundraising to ensure the success of all students. And that is my case study. Thank you for watching.